So, hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. I hope you're all doing well. Back in another lockdown, especially for me, working as a hairdresser. So, I'm stuck at home creating all these videos for you guys. So, today we've got Kit Watch. So, I'm on the 2006 2007 home shirt. Real cool shirt. Love a shirt with a collar. I feel like the sponsor's great, especially with the little blue details through here. Anyone follows me on Twitter knows I'm having an absolute nightmare at the minute buying football shirts. So you're going to see plenty more. Got an absolute beauty of a jacket coming as well. It's literally sensational. So while you're all here, transfer watch, the window's open. Aston Villa may be busy, may not be busy. But I feel like we've got a few outgoings to come first. So we're going to bring in Seb. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks, Seb. So for the outgoings, I feel like the squad's got to have a lot of outgoings before we do sign anyone. Basically, just for the level of player that we've got in the squad as well, we need to balance that out with outgoings and ingoings as well, because you just can't sign everybody. So the first one we're just going to touch on as well is Bjorn Engels. Seb, what's your vibe on Engels then?
Yeah, he's had a really weird start to life in Claret and Blue. He came in and he almost burst onto the scene alongside Tyrone. I think it was our first few games of the season. We started them at the back, and everyone was singing their praises, really. You know, the terms Mingles were coming out and that they were the best partnership since whoever. And then he suddenly sort of went off the boil when Smith chose to go five at the back when we were struggling. He seemed to drop out of the squad a bit, and he's never really found his way back in. He's 26 years of age now. He's made zero appearances this season, 17 appearances in 18 months at the club. He's really fallen down the pecking order. Whether he's failing to show something on the training ground or whether Smith's just fallen out of favour with him, I don't know. But I can't see his time at Claret and Blue lasting much longer. Whether we look to take him out on loan or whether someone comes in for him permanently, I can't see him being here much longer.
I can't even. I know Spurs put that clip of last time at Villa Park up the other day, and that was the last time we've really ever seen Engels in the Premier League. You know, that mistake was. I remember walking out that ground. I was just shell shocked. I was absolutely. We played so well that game, and I was just shell shocked at what I just witnessed. Really. So for me, I do think he's going to go. I don't think he has a career at Aston Villa anymore. I think he's fallen out of favour with Smith massively as well. A player that I feel like we'll all sort of be sorry to see go if he does leave is probably Gilbert. I think I see a little bit of talent in Gilbert and a bit of promise, but again, it's another one where he seems like he's let us down more than he's had very, very good games. What's your vibe on Gilbert?
Gilbert's a weird one, really. I don't think I've ever seen a player split the fan base just as much as Freddie does. I think he's a very passionate player. He brings that with him. He brings that energy with him, and he's not afraid to shy away from a sliding tackle either, which the fans can always get behind. I'd almost describe him as a little bit of a fan favourite at times. You know, you see lots of calls for him to come in. And when we signed Matty Cash, I personally thought Matty Cash would be here to sit behind Gilbert, to offer us good squad depth. I didn't see Gilbert being dropped. However, I've been proved wrong. And since Matty Cash has come in, you know, he hasn't looked back. He's been one of the best right backs in the league this season. And he's really propelled us up the table. Freddie Freddie has a right to feel hard done by because he struggles to even get on the bench with Al Mohammadi in front of him. He's almost been frozen out of nowhere. Because I remember we came in for that Arsenal game, the 1-0 at Villa Park, and he man of the match. He was faultless all game, and we haven't really seen him since, other than in the League Cup. So he does have a right to feel hard done by, but he has that mentality that he's not an easy quitter. So it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up staying and trying to fight for his place, because I don't think his time's over. Whether he goes out on loan and tries to prove himself abroad before he comes back, or whether we do decide to sell him permanently if the right offer were to come in, I don't know, but Smith just doesn't seem to see much in him, which is really weird because I thought he had a decent first year in the Prem, something to build on, especially.
So another rumour that came out a couple of days ago was Keinan Davis proposed loan move to Stoke. Now, for me, that is a definite no-go. I think if you're looking at our options up front at the minute, we all are absolutely buzzing. Wesley's back on that training pitch. Can't wait for him to come back. But I feel like it's going to be a while. It's going to take him time to get up to speed. He's going to be nurtured, trying to get into that match day squad as well. So it just leaves us so short up front. And I feel like we need to be bringing in more rather than shipping strikers out. What's your view on it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He's 22 years of age now, so he's not getting any younger. He's quite injury prone as well. I think whenever he seems to have a little spell of getting into the team, he always seems to find an injury that sets him back. Like you said, I can't see him leaving unless another striker's brought in. He's made 4 appearances for the club this season, but he's only played in 3% of Villa's minutes over the course of the season. So although he's coming on, it's only really 85th minute and onwards to see out the game, or maybe if we're chasing the game to lump it forward to him because his hold-up play, you'll know as well as everyone else, is so good. Um, Also, I did a bit of digging into Keinan Davis and found that his agent is CAA Base Limited, and they also run players like Ahmed Hegazi, the old West Brom centre back, Danny Rose, Trevor Chalobah, and Ashley Young. And one thing that they all have in common is all of them players, once they haven't got the playing time that they want, they've been sent elsewhere, whether on loan or whether out permanently. So I think that could be a deciding factor, whether he has his agent in his ear going, you're not getting the playing time you deserve here. If you drop down a level, you can prove to Villa that you can come back and you can play a really decent role in this squad, not just be a bit part player that we bring on because we have no one else. But yeah, like you said, I think he'll only go if we bring someone else in. If we do bring someone else in, I'd like to see him go to see if he can really get some minutes under his belt and kick on and really score goals, become a prolific goal scorer, because that's what he's struggled with so far in his career.
Brilliant stuff. So let's talk about incomings. The one that's dropped today, absolutely quality. I'm very positive, and this is the type of signing that makes me very, very happy. Is Christian Eriksen. Now, I'm not saying he's coming in at all, but that's the level of player that Aston Villa have got to be looking at to propel us to another level, the level above where we're trying to get to at the moment. Now, he's absolutely quality, but the issue I've got with a lot of these signings that would be coming in, especially in midfield, is whose place do they take? Because we've got players that are playing very well, and it's going to be very difficult for anybody to come into this team at the minute and take a starting lineup position. So, Seb, views on Eriksen?
I disagree. I don't think this move appeals to me. I'm thinking to myself, he's 28 now. Okay, so he's probably hit his prime. He's probably just coming out of it. He was magnificent for Spurs. What he did for Spurs and how he helped transform them along with their other players when they were on the rise was incredible. He got them to a Champions League final. You know, he's played on the big stages. He's played under the best managers. But in terms of quality, yes, that's a player we've got to be looking at 100%. You know, on his day, he can turn it on. But then attitude-wise, is he really going to want to take a step down to Villa? I just can't see it happening. He's fallen out of favour massively at Inter Milan with Antonio Conte. Those two don't get on. He's only made 8 appearances this season. He started 11 in his whole time at Inter, and that's almost been a year now because I think he joined them last January, if I'm not mistaken. He's got no goals, no assists this season in 8. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists in 12 months. So I don't think that shows. We were talking about Freddie Guilbert and how he willingly, openly shows a fight and a passion to get back in the team and really prove his manager wrong. I don't see that with Eriksen, and I don't think he'd be willing to take that step down. And I don't want to be looked at as a club that, oh, I'll go there if I have to. We should be the type of club where players are dying to get here, and as soon as they find out we're interested, they want to be here straight away. Yeah, he's also got lots of clubs after him. I think I read that Everton, Ajax, Wolves, West Ham, and PSG are interested, obviously, with Pochettino going back there in recent days. I just think this move is so unlikely that I really can't see it happening. And if it did, it would take a lot to win me over, because we'd have to find somewhere for him to play, because I can't see him taking McGinn's place or Jack's place. He can play out wide, he can play in the middle, so he's got that versatility, but those aren't the positions we need to be looking at in summer, especially as we've still got Ross Barkley to come back wherever Ross Barkley's disappeared to. We've still got him to look forward to come back. I can't see it happening.
I mean, one thing for me in all of this is, looking at it, I'd rather us be interested in Christian Eriksen than what we've normally been linked with in
Oh
January,
yeah,
such as
100%.
Borja Baston, Tom Carroll. So at least I feel like we're up in the ante in January. We're trying to bring in that next level of player. But I do, like you, I feel like it's very unlikely, bit of a weird rumour, but I just felt like it was one that we could touch on. So have you
Yeah.
any more incomings?
Yeah, I've got Milot Rashica here, the name that just doesn't seem to be going away. How long has he been linked to us for? Is that move ever going to happen? Who knows? He's 24 years old. He's recently just come back from injury. He's made 5 appearances this season with 1 assist to his name, but has only been in the squad for 22% of Bremen's minutes this season. So he hasn't really had that prolonged time in the squad to really get himself going. I think the thing that appeals to me about Rashica is the fact that I watched him very closely when football restarted earlier in Germany. I followed Bremen. I followed them quite closely, and he really impressed me. He reminded me similar to Jack Grealish, almost the way that he carried that team. They relied on him. They looked to him, and he seemed to take that. He seemed to take that really well. They looked to him often, and he was their main goal threat, and he carried them forward. He really took them when they were under pressure. He carried the ball up the pitch. I saw a bit of Jack Grealish in him. However, I can't say that Eriksen wouldn't want to join the club and then change my opinions for Rashica, because he has openly turned us down before. So it's a really weird one. He's a great, great player. And if we can get him here, then I think if he can change his mindset, then yeah, brilliant. Bring him in, start him on the bench, and then see if we can bring him on and he can show that glimpse of quality that we know he has. But similar to Eriksen, I think that's rather on the unlikely side. I think we'd have to have some outgoings to even consider bringing him in.
I mean, the table looks upside down compared to where he thought he'd be coming in the summer, didn't it? He thought we'd be in the relegation battle. So who knows? Any more we got? Oh, or is that it for today?
I've got one more, and I don't think we've actually been linked with him. I think it's mostly our fans that have linked ourselves to him, but it's Jordan Amavi. I think I mentioned a few videos back that we needed a left back, and that's one name that our fans seem to really get on with. I think he's a really solid option. I did some digging into him, and his stats really impressed me. He's only 26 years of age, so he's just hitting his peak. He's made 9 appearances this season with 4 clean sheets, most notably coming against PSG in a 1-0 win just a few games ago. And then looking back at last season, he made 26 appearances with 11 clean sheets. However, he doesn't have many goal contributions, only getting 1 goal and 0 assists. So, I mean, he's probably more of a defensive fullback, whereas Matt Targett probably looks to get forward a bit more. So if we could bring in Amavi, I think that would offer us an option, because I don't think Neil Taylor is going to be here for much longer. Amavi would be a step up as well. I think he'd come in and take Matt Targett's place straight away. I don't think there'd need to be any bedding in for Amavi. And with only 6 months left on his current contract, I really think we can get him for cheap, maybe 10, 15 million. And then we look to maybe release Neil Taylor or see if there's anyone that's stupid enough to take him. But if we could get just a few of those players in January, I think we could really kick on and maybe even look for Europe this season.
Definitely. So everybody, thanks for watching. Let us know who you feel like we should be signing in January or areas of the squad that needs addressing. Subscribe to the channel and up the Villa.
Up the Villa.